Well, welcome back everybody to Poolie Mag TV, the raw, unedited, unscripted NUFC fan channel where everybody's got an opinion and nobody's opinion is wrong. So, it seems like a few people have agreed with me on my last few videos. I do apologise for not being horizontal, so you will only see like a window of me if you watch me on your telly, but you still get to hear what I'm saying, you still get to see me, and you still get to know what I'm on about. So the content will be as good as ever, and hopefully today's topic, I'm not the only channel to be talking about it. Hopefully I'm not the only fan who thinks it, and hopefully I'm not in the minority. So hopefully we can make enough noise that Eddie Howe and his inner circle might actually hear us, and it might actually cause some positive effect for change in the Newcastle squad, change in some Newcastle tactics, change in some instructions, change in our belief, change in what the manager's philosophy is, because something does need to change. That will be the big word of the video, change. And I'm going to be mentioning it a lot more than I usually mention it, because we do need to change. We certainly do. So, my video today is regarding the over-reliance on certain players. Now, my thumbnail depicts Joe Willock, it depicts Nick Pope, and it depicts Dan Burn. I could also put Joe Linton on there, but Joe Linton does a job in certain games that other players in our squad can't do, so I haven't put him on there. Joe Willock played okay against Marseille. On reflection, probably he's better than what he's played in 2 years, so maybe he's bigged him up a little bit more. Really, what did he offer? He played better than what he has for the last 2 years, but in reality, was that a 7 out of 10 performance from Joe Willock? No. For me, it was about a 5.5. Better than his 2.5 that he has been producing, but still, I was sat there thinking, why the hell isn't Jacob Ramsey getting a game here? How in the hell isn't Jacob Ramsey getting a game here? I just don't understand it. I really don't. The over-reliance on Dan Burn week in, week out. He's 33-year-old. Yes, he gets his game for England at centre-back. But why? When you've got Malik Chow and you've got Sven Botman and you've got Fabian Schär, 3 centre-backs that are better than Dan Burn, why are you shoehorning him into the squad? It makes no sense to me. Mango said it, and I've said it. And we both think that Dan Burn's got something on Eddie Howe. I think he's got photos of him or something he must have. To keep playing Dan Burn week in, week out is a disgrace for me. It is. And not just playing him at centre-back, you're playing a back 5 to shoehorn him in. If you're going to play back 4, just play him. But don't shoehorn people in. It just doesn't work. I'm sorry, but it doesn't. It does not work. A back 5 for Newcastle does not work. It makes us too defensive. It makes us too far back on the pitch. It doesn't allow for freedom in the midfield, and it doesn't allow us to link up with the forward line. It just sets a bad tone. We do not know, or we cannot pull off a back 5. It's not our mentality, but he continues to play it just to fit Dan Burn in. Don't understand it. Really don't. Dan Burn's been a good servant. Been a great servant at times. Don't get me wrong. He'd play in goal. He'd play up front if you asked him to. He's that type of player. I've got nothing against his attitude. I've got nothing against his commitment to the club. What I do have against is him being picked over players he's not better than. That's what I have an issue with. If you're going to play him over Botman, take Schär out and all, and just play a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3. Stop playing back 5 at the back to shoehorn Dan Burn in. Sorry, it doesn't work. It just doesn't. Moving on to Nick Pope. How many more mistakes is this guy going to have to make before, Eddie Howe comes out? I don't ever expect Eddie Howe to publicly blast his players. But for him to come out and say, yeah, maybe it is time for Nick to have a little bit of rest. We do need to maybe reshuffle things. Oh, no, it's just the life of a goalkeeper. I still trust him. How can you trust that? He must see something that I don't see. Now, I'm not privy to, obviously, the training ground and everything, but I can't imagine Aaron Ramsdale being a bad trainer. I really can't. I just don't see that in the lad. I don't see Ramsdale being a poor trainer. I just think Eddie Howe as like a nostalgia effect. If you've done well for him once, you'll always do well for him. It must have killed him to get rid of Callum Wilson in the summer. That must have ate him bad. Because he would have still been playing this season for us. I can guarantee you if Eddie Howe had anything to do with that. You know, he just does not know how to get rid of players because they've got good character. We'll bring some new players in that have good character, who aren't 30-odd-year-olds. Bring some youth up. Surely your under-23 coaches and your under-19 coach or whatever are sending scout reports up saying, Eddie, ready for a start. Eddie, ready to come into the squad. Really good character. That's what you do. That's what they're there for. But you're not giving them a chance. No young'uns even get a chance. Lewis Miley doesn't get a kick. Nobody gets a chance for us. This Sanusi and that Alibi and the Korean lad and Garang Kwal and everybody who we bought, we meant to have beat every fucking top team in Europe for, get sent out on loan or oid into the reserves. You never see them. It's a joke. It's a joke, and you're starting Joe Willock again. Joe Willock come on against Marseille. Yeah, he did okay, but on reflection and watching the match over again, he wasn't great, was he? He was better than that he usually has been, but he just wasn't great. Why wasn't Ramsey getting the game? Why wasn't Miley getting the game? Why not oil that Alibi on for 10 minutes? What's the point of him sitting on the bench? Alex Murphy, left back. Why don't you put him on? Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand his thinking. I don't understand this not bleeding the youth. If I had a horse, right, say I was a horse racer, right, an horse owner, and I had a horse, right, that won me 3 Grand Nationals in a row, right, but I hadn't won for 4 years, and I had another horse who was fitter, stronger, younger, was better jumper, better everything that you can think of in horse racing. And I kept putting out that one I hadn't won in 4 years. Yet all my jockeys and all my other trainers are saying, look, Steve, this horse is lightning, this horse can win. This horse is better than the one you... And I continue to put that horse out. And I don't win the Grand National again. I don't win it. Whose fault's that? That's mine, isn't it? My utter sheer stubbornness. And that's where we are with Eddie Howe. You know, he's relying on past glory instead of what's right in front of his eyes. What's right in front of his eyes is we aren't good enough at the minute. And the players that he's choosing aren't good enough. We've got no game changes. He's running Bruno Guimaraes into the ground. He's running Tonali into the ground. I know Voltemada, you know, it's been unfortunate because we've had Wisser injured. But still, Gordon doesn't play up front. I would rather have Harvey Barnes up front. At least he can score goals. Anthony Gordon is not a striker. And to come out and say, oh yes, well we did play with a striker. No, we never. We played with somebody in a striker's position. But he is not, as long as I've got an hole in my arse, Anthony Gordon is not a striker. I'm sorry, he isn't. Never has been, never, ever will be. And something needs to change. Yes, there's that word again. Stop picking the same shite week in, week out. You've got a squad, use it. You've got youth, use it. You've got people there who would die to get onto that fucking field, and you're picking the same old dross week in, week out. My message to Eddie Howe is, you've got a squad, use it properly, please. Anyway, hit like, hit subscribe, comment down below. I'll be back with a better angle next when I'm back home. I want to do an Everton preview tomorrow. This is just a video that was on the top of my head, and I just thought I need to get it out because I'm sick of seeing the same old plays in the same old positions week in, week out with the same old results. Hit like, comment, hit subscribe, all that jazz. Keep it black and white. Keep it Poolie Mag TV. Over and out.